Welcome to my bold and beautiful Today's Show channel. I hope today fantastic for everyone. Please hit the subscribes button and give this video thumbs up. Will Steffy leave town with Liam for his life-saving treatment? The bold and the beautiful Steffy Forrester faces an impossible choice as Liam's brain tumor requires experimental treatment overseas. Will she leave Finn behind to save her ex-husband? The ultimate sacrifice. Steffy leaving Finn behind to save Liam's life? A life or death decision rocks the Forrester family. Brace yourselves, bold and beautiful fans, because a storm is brewing that could tear apart multiple families. As Liam Spencer's inoperable brain tumor diagnosis continues to devastate everyone in his orbit, Steffy Forrester is about to make a decision that will leave viewers gasping. Sources confirm that Steffy is seriously considering taking her ex-husband abroad for experimental treatment, potentially leaving her current husband Finn behind in Los Angeles. The impossible choice that changes everything. The devastating revelation of Liam's brain tumor has already sent shockwaves through the Forrester and Spencer families. But the bomb that's about to drop? Steffy might be the one to accompany him for treatment instead of hope. Let's be real, this isn't just about medical care. The history between Steffy and Liam runs deep, and despite her marriage to Finn, there's always been an undeniable connection between these two. When Liam started experiencing symptoms and eventually received his grim diagnosis, it was Steffy who stepped up immediately, supporting him through doctor's appointments and even helping him decide whether to tell Hope about his condition. Finn has been surprisingly understanding so far, recognizing the seriousness of Liam's condition and putting aside any jealousy for the sake of medicine. But how will the good doctor react when he learns his wife might be leaving the country with her ex-husband? And more importantly, will Hope Logan stand by and watch as her children's father departs with her longtime rival? The medical miracle that could reignite old flames. The experimental treatment that could save Liam's life isn't available in the United States, which means someone has to go with him for what could be weeks or even months of therapy. While Bill Spencer has offered to accompany his son, doctors suggest Liam needs someone familiar who understands his history, someone like Steffy. When you're fighting for your life, you need people around you who truly know you. A source close to the show explains. And no one knows Liam quite like Steffy does. But let's not be naive. Putting these two in a high-stakes, emotional situation far from home is like lighting a match next to gasoline. Will watching Liam fight for his life reignite feelings Steffy has worked so hard to bury? And where does that leave Finn? Sources suggest Finn may initially offer to join them, using his medical expertise to help monitor Liam's condition. But work commitments at the hospital could prevent him from staying long-term, leaving Steffy and Liam alone during the most vulnerable time of their lives. Ridge and Taylor weigh in on their daughter's decision. As Steffy grapples with this impossible choice, her parents Ridge and Taylor are split on what their daughter should do. Taylor, being a doctor herself, understands the gravity of Liam's condition and supports Steffy helping the father of her child. Meanwhile, Ridge worries about the impact on Steffy's marriage and whether she's setting herself up for heartbreak again. Is history repeating itself? Let's not forget that Ridge has spent decades bouncing between Brooke and Taylor, and now his daughter finds herself in a similarly complex emotional triangle. The apple doesn't fall far from the tree in Los Angeles. Hope's shocking reaction that no one saw coming. Perhaps the most unexpected element in this unfolding drama is Hope's reaction. Rather than fighting to be the one who accompanies Liam, sources hint that Hope might actually encourage Steffy to go. Has she finally accepted that her marriage to Liam is over for good? Or does she have ulterior motives? Some fans speculate that with Steffy out of the picture, Hope might set her sights on getting closer to Finn, especially after their controversial kiss at the Forrester party. Whatever happens, one thing is certain. Liam's diagnosis and treatment will test every relationship on the canvas. Will Steffy sacrifice her marriage to save her ex-husband's life? Will Finn stand by his wife or finally reach his breaking point? And what about the children caught in the middle of this emotional hurricane? The stakes have never been higher, and the fallout from these decisions will shape storylines for months to come. One source summed it up perfectly. When it comes to matters of life and death, people show their true colors. And what Steffy does next will reveal exactly where her heart truly lies. Liam's new test results revealed Dr. Buckingham's urgent medical update. The bold and the beautiful spoilers indicate that Liam Spencer will get some new test results, so Dr. Grace Buckingham's urgent medical update will be revealed. Let's discuss what's in store for Liam after he visits the hospital during the week of May 19th to 23rd and gets more brain scans. Although Liam has accepted his grim fate, it still doesn't feel completely real yet. Liam's symptoms have been getting worse, but it's been hard for him to wrap his head around the fact that he's truly near the end of his life. Even though it's not rational, some small part of Liam might hope for a miracle once his new results come in. Liam would at least like to hear that his tumor is progressing slowly, but he's about to get some alarming news instead. B&B spoilers say Dr. Buckingham will deliver a crushing blow to Liam, so he may learn that his tumor is actually growing much faster than any of them hoped. The neuro team won't have anything positive to say once these new scans point to Liam's rapidly worsening situation. It'll be Dr. Buckingham who has to explain everything to Liam, so who may push for an estimate on how long he has left. Of course, there's no way to know for sure since every patient is different, but Liam will definitely walk away from this meeting knowing he needs to be prepared. Liam doesn't want to be a burden, but Hope Logan already assured him that he isn't one. Steffy Forrester feels the same, and will want to be there for Liam just as much as Hope does. It's been hard for Liam to open up about any of this, but it'd be nice to see both Steffy and Hope comfort him in his time of need. This could lead to Liam getting some things off his chest and delivering some final wishes ahead of his demise. Will Sheila take the fall as Luna spirals out of control? The Bold and the Beautiful spoilers and updates tease Sheila Sharp appears to be the more rational character when contrasted with Luna Nozawa. Luna's growing more obsessed with Daddy John Finnegan and Steffy Forrester's efforts to keep her from him. Luna's anger seems to be a growing problem. Luna's simmering rage towards Steffy could escalate into a significant issue, potentially driving her to her breaking point once more. She has expressed feeling detached from herself during her dreadful actions, claiming that an unknown force overtook her, leading her to believe that wasn't her true self. Yet this might simply be a sign that Luna is being pushed to her limits. Is she on the brink of losing control again and risking another catastrophic act? Is her daddy wound too large for Luna to bear? Luna wants to make a new start, but very few believe in her. Luna is eager for everyone to think she has turned over a new leaf, and is now on a more positive journey. However, as this narrative unfolds, it may become increasingly evident that she is actually veering towards a darker path. Sheila appears to be growing worried about Luna's fixation on establishing a relationship with Finn as her father. Aware that Steffy will always be Finn's priority, Sheila understands that it would require something extreme to remove her from the equation. Luna has shown she is capable of taking extreme measures when she spirals out of control. Luna locked Steffy in a cage and killed 2 men. We cannot overlook the fact that Luna imprisoned Steffy in a cage, nor her role in the tragic fates of Tom Starr and Paul Hollis Hollister. What if Luna loses control and targets Steffy again? Driven by the belief that her stepmother is obstructing her bond with Finn, Luna may attempt to eliminate Steffy for good. If she resorts to violence, it could place Sheila in a precarious situation. Sheila might feel compelled to conceal Luna's actions and could even take the fall herself, fearing that her granddaughter could end up back behind bars. Sheila loves her daughter and will do anything to protect her. Fans know that Sheila has a deep affection for Luna, willing to go to great lengths for her since they are family. Sheila has promised to always stand by Luna, but could she possibly lie and take the blame if it comes to that? Is she prepared to make the ultimate sacrifice and face arrest in Luna's stead? Steffy will endure whatever challenges Luna throws her way, but the atmosphere is certainly tense as Luna's anger towards her stepmother intensifies. The Bold and the Beautiful spoilers hint that Sheila might encounter some shocking news and find herself entangled in a complex predicament, so keep an eye out for updates on the unfolding drama. The Bold and the Beautiful is entering a new phase of narrative intensity as Steffy Forrester finds herself standing at the crossroads of love, loyalty, and life itself, faced with a decision that could alter the trajectory of not just her own life, but the lives of everyone she holds dear. Liam Spencer's inoperable brain tumor has already cast a dark shadow over the Forrester and Spencer clans, a grim diagnosis that has brought even his fiercest rivals to their knees in shared heartbreak. But now the stakes have skyrocketed as Liam is presented with a sliver of hope, an experimental treatment, only available overseas, that could potentially prolong, or even save his life. But there's a catch. Someone has to accompany him for what could be an arduous, uncertain, and emotionally turbulent journey. And as fate would have it, the person best suited for the job isn't his ex-wife Hope, nor his father Bill, but the one woman whose presence could rekindle 1,000 buried emotions, Steffy. The notion of Steffy leaving Los Angeles, her children and more significantly, her husband Dr. John Finn Finnegan, to embark on an international medical pilgrimage with her ex-husband is not just bold, it's seismic. What began as a compassionate gesture to support the father of her child through a medical crisis has morphed into a soul-rending dilemma, one that pits her marriage against her moral compass, and perhaps even deeper feelings she's tried for years to suppress. From the moment Liam received the terrifying diagnosis, Steffy has been a rock, attending appointments, helping interpret complex medical jargon, and even coaxing Liam to be honest with Hope about the severity of his condition. But as his symptoms escalate and the doctors grow increasingly grim, culminating in Dr. Grace Buckingham's urgent update that reveals the tumor is growing faster than anyone anticipated, it becomes clear that waiting around for a miracle stateside is no longer an option. And when Finn's demanding schedule at the hospital prevents him from traveling, all eyes turn to Steffy. Her mere consideration of going has already ignited panic beneath the surface, exposing unspoken tensions, old rivalries, and the deep emotional undercurrents that have never quite settled. Finn, ever the noble healer, initially offers support, but his eyes betray the fear that he's about to lose not just his wife, but his family to a man he was told she no longer loved. Steffy insists that this is about compassion, not romance, but everyone, from Ridge to Taylor to Hope, knows better than to ignore the lingering embers of what she and Liam once had. And those embers could easily be fanned into flame when isolated in a foreign country, removed from the familiar safety nets of home, marriage, and moral obligation. Taylor, understanding the sanctity of life and having spent her own career trying to save it, encourages Steffy to do what's right, seeing Liam not as a threat, but as a man in need. Ridge, however, sees it differently. He's lived this cycle before. Torn between Brooke and Taylor, chasing the illusion that he could protect everyone while protecting no one. He knows all too well the cost of emotional indecision, and he warns his daughter not to become a mirror of his mistakes. But Steffy is no stranger to turmoil. She's weathered addiction, betrayal, and the fierce competition between Hope and herself that has defined much of her adult life. Still, nothing could prepare her for the moment when Hope, uncharacteristically calm, tells her to go. On the surface it appears selfless, but insiders suggest ulterior motives. Hope, who recently shared a moment of dangerous closeness with Finn at a Forrester party, may see this as a convenient way to remove Steffy from the picture. With Steffy abroad, Hope could grow closer to Finn, blurring the lines between comfort and seduction under the guise of mutual grief. And what of Liam? He's struggling not just with the physical symptoms of his illness, headaches, dizziness, blurred vision, but with the emotional weight of mortality. The new tests delivered with sterile clarity by Dr. Buckingham reveal a harsh truth. The tumor is not just progressing, it's aggressive. Liam, always the idealist, clings to the hope that he might be the exception, the one patient who defies the odds. But as the days slip by and his body betrays him, he begins to understand that time is not on his side. His children, Beth and Kelly, are too young to understand the finality of death, but they sense something is wrong. And in one raw moment, Liam confides in Steffy, admitting that he's not afraid of dying, but of being forgotten. That moment seals it. Steffy, fighting back tears, promises he will not face this alone. And thus, the choice becomes inevitable. But while Steffy prepares for the journey, another storm brews. Luna Nozawa, whose descent into emotional instability has already led to criminal behavior, including locking Steffy in a cage and indirectly causing the deaths of 2 men, is once again spiraling. Her obsession with Finn and desire to forge a father-daughter bond continues to clash violently with Steffy's presence in his life. To Luna, Steffy is the ultimate obstacle, the final barrier between her and the familial connection she so desperately craves. Her instability, previously blamed on trauma or external influence, now seems more like a ticking time bomb of unresolved psychological damage. And Sheila, ever the unpredictable wild card, watches her granddaughter with growing alarm. Sheila knows the signs of someone about to break, because she sees them in the mirror every day. And while she may have promised redemption, motherhood, and loyalty to Luna, she now fears she may have to make the ultimate sacrifice herself. Could Sheila take the fall for Luna if the young woman's instability leads to another catastrophic act? Perhaps even another attempt on Steffy's life? The show is planting the seeds for a possible reckoning, where Sheila's redemption arc collides with her maternal instinct, and Luna's need for a father becomes an existential threat to the very woman who's already being pulled in too many directions. Meanwhile, in the echoing halls of the Forrester mansion, whispers swirl and loyalties shift. Brooke is wary of Steffy's motives, and though she won't say it aloud, she wonders if Steffy truly left her feelings for Liam behind. Donna, Eric, and even Zen voice concerns about what this departure could mean for the family brand. After all, if Steffy's absence turns permanent, who will steer the ship at Forrester Creations? And what of Kelly? Will she understand why her mother is leaving? Or will this become another wound that festers into resentment down the line? There's a palpable sense that every character is being drawn into the gravitational pull of Liam's illness, forced to examine their own values, their own mortality, and the limits of love and forgiveness. As the date for Liam's departure nears, Steffy finds herself sitting alone on the beach where she once kissed Liam, where they once imagined a life together untouched by complications. Now the air feels heavier. The sand beneath her feet doesn't soothe but suffocates. She closes her eyes and sees her children's faces, hears Finn's voice telling her that love means letting go, not holding on. And then she sees Liam, frail and tired, looking at her like she's the only thing keeping him tethered to this world. Her tears fall not from confusion, but from the clarity of what she must do. Across town, Finn sits with Hope in the hospital lounge, the tension between them thick but unspoken. He wonders aloud if he's losing Steffy forever. Hope, eyes soft, touches his hand for just a moment too long, assuring him that sometimes love means standing aside for someone else's happiness. And somewhere in that moment the balance of power begins to shift again. Liam and Steffy prepare to leave for Zurich, where the experimental clinic awaits. They board the jet, unaware that back home, Luna is preparing something dangerous, something born of fear and fury, not logic. Sheila follows her closely, torn between her instinct to protect and the knowledge that stepping in could cost her everything. As the plane disappears into the clouds, a quiet descends over the Los Angeles skyline, but it's the calm before a storm no one sees coming. Because whether or not the treatment works, whether Liam survives or succumbs to the darkness growing inside him, nothing will be the same. Lines have been crossed. Marriages will be tested. Loyalties shattered. And in the process, the characters we thought we knew may reveal their darkest or most noble truths. Will Steffy's sacrifice bring healing or destruction? Will Finn wait for her? Or move on with hope in a moment of shared grief? Will Luna's rage explode into tragedy? And will Sheila once again play judge, jury, and savior? The answers lie in the next chapter, but one thing is certain. This is no longer just a soap about fashion houses and forbidden kisses. This is a story of life and death, of love and legacy, of how far we're willing to go for the people who once saved us, and how deep the wounds can go when we try to save them back. The bold and the beautiful has always thrived on the complicated entanglements of hearts and egos, but this time, it's not just reputations on the line, it's lives.